Hi everyone, Dorota, Palicka, International Nail Artist and Educator, and today we are going to do a beautiful bling bling set, and that's what I love the most, like lots of Swarovski crystals on my nails and a tiny bit of the glitter. And I will show you how to sculpt those gel nails. We'll be using a fiber gel and then encapsulate the glitter and apply lots of Swarovski crystals in different kind of shapes and different crystal placements. You can have a preview of those nails in here. Yeah, that's exactly a set which we are going to create, and I hope you really enjoy watching this tutorial. If you do, share this video so others can see it as well, and this way we can also gain a little bit more subscribers, just so the channel grow and give me a little bit of motivation, more motivation to post it more regular as well. But let's start this tutorial. So yeah, that's a halfway through, and I have done it for a reason. I have left this nail because that's the hardest one to apply the nail form, so I will show you exactly how to do it, how to sculpt it, and then we'll bling them up. And gosh, I love this bling so much, like it's totally me. I think this set kind of goes with everything. So I'm going to start with pushing back my cuticles. So like push them nice and firm, and then edge the surface of the natural nail. I'm just going to give a proper scratches to my natural nail. There is still maybe a tiny bit of the product left because I never remove completely the gel before I start filing, because I don't want to overfile my nails. So I'm just going to give it a couple nice scratches. Excuse, like left hand is my not dominant hand, so I'm always feeling like I'm a bit struggle doing the things. So I have scratched the surface of the natural nail plate. Now this nail is having a really extreme high hyponychium, like that's a piece of the skin which lies directly underneath of my nail bed, and his function is to protect the nail bed from any kind of infection. I cannot file it any shorter because that's a maximum. I already have filed it actually a little bit, the hyponychium. So I'm just going to give it a couple scratches to the free edge, but not to shorten anymore because it's really painful actually. So that's my natural nail prep. I'm just going to remove the dust, and now is the time for dehydration. So I'm using the blue scrub, which is a nail dehydrator, and I'm going to clean my nail properly. So clean it properly, nice and squeaky. And now we are going to apply the nail form on this nail. So I'm using the Nail Perfect nail forms. I'm just peeling one. Peel the sticker, and actually I'm going to keep it because it's quite nice to mix the stuff. So instead of binning, I can keep it on the side and we can use it for mixing the gel polishes and the paints. This piece of the sticker goes behind, and now we need to trim this form just so it fits my nail. But before I do it, I pre-pinch it in my fingers, so I'm really nicely rolling that in between my fingers. Like I want a nice C-curve. And it's a great solution, especially for the clients in a salon which nails aren't suitable for pinching, because some nails we shouldn't be pinching as pretty risky and also might cause the lifting, so that means all your work will get damaged. Now, because of those high hyponychium, I need to cut out a decent amount in here, so my finger is going to squeeze in there, like my nail is going to squeeze in there. So I'm cutting out the shape of my hyponychium, like a nice rounded part. And then also, because I want to be able to pinch, especially with the white nail folds, we need to cut it. You can kind of measure the size of your finger, so I'm just going to cut it somewhere here and then somewhere here. Okay, so these cuts are to let me squeeze the form, and this cut is to make the form fit in. After I have cut it, I can roll it again, because look what is happening. We're creating really, really nice C-curve. Okay. I'm closing the tabs, and I'm applying the form actually exactly the same way on my clients. Like I don't like the way like fingers in and going like this. I just close the tabs and I slide it like this. That's what is the most comfy for me. Now, we are going for a coffin shape, so I want them to go a little bit up, because especially on this finger, because later on it grows down, so that's kind of keep the shape for a longer period of the time. Gosh, my fingers are so dehydrated that the form sticks in really well. So I don't want the form to go like this, because that's mean the nail is going to grow down, and you can see what the tab's doing. They're going kind of overlapping each other, so this is a wrong form position for me. I want the form to go either straight. Okay, so if I will be going for a very long nails, my form will go straight like this, like so. So when I will be filing, the shape will be really like nice. I don't have to make a end really thick, and I prefer it this way. Because this nail tends to grow down the way, I'm going to even lift the nail form a little bit. So when you take something which is pretty flat, maybe this, you will notice, I will try to explain the things well. So you will notice like that's when I'm adding the product in here, and if the form will go too much down, look how thick the end will need to be if we want to have a straight shape. And if we don't want the end thick, then I will have to go like in this way, and then that's mean the nail is growing down the way, like, and it doesn't look nice later on when the nail is like maybe a few weeks old. So that's the reason why I tend to put my forms a little bit higher up. Okay, now this middle part has to be in the middle, so I just need to move it a little bit, and you can see because of those cuts I'm able to squeeze the form much more than I would do without doing those cuts. And now once I'm happy with the placement of my form, you can see how the hyponychium is disturbing me in here. I can start closing the form. Okay, and also when we close the form tends to go a little bit higher as well. So that's what I like. Okay, squeeze it as much as possible. And ta-da! Okay, so that's the form application covered. I'm checking if it's nice and straight, especially that those fingers, they tend to grow, like you can see it like straight as here, but then the finger goes. So you need to find a happy medium. You don't want to kind of too much follow the finger shape, but at the same time you don't want to make nails which are squint. My next step is to apply the nail prep. Just because during the form application we could touch the nail and it needs dehydration again. And then once this is dry, universal air bond. Okay, so universal air bond, and universal air bond gives me a really nice adhesion to the natural nails. We are going to use the fiber gel in clear. Actually, I have damaged my pot a little bit, but it is in a clear color, just because I want to have those kind of nice see-through effect. And once my universal air bond is dry, I'm just picking up a nice and small scope of the product. Okay, nice and small scope of the product, nice and thin layer first. And with those thin layer, I can kind of press it harder and rub the product into the nail, so this way I get a really nice long-lasting results. Pick up another scope. So I have applied it only on my natural nail, and now I'm extending the free edge. Okay, we're going for a coffin shape, and I prefer like those thin layer, which is a skeleton. I prefer to kind of make it a little bit longer, just because it's not going to take me as much time to file it, but then I don't want to risk it. I might maybe make it too short and then I have to reapply the form again. Now I'm putting my nail to the side because I need to check the side of the nail, and I need to make sure everything is covered. Working with the clear gel is pretty difficult because you cannot see it how you apply it on the form. So now I'm just going on the other side and do exactly the same. Perfect, we have to cook it. So I'm putting inside the lamp. And this is only to flash cure the product because I want to give an extra pinch to my nails. So I've got some pinching lamp, and once it is cured 30 seconds, I'm going to squeeze it a little bit. Now, regarding the pinching, I just want you to guys know a few things. So first of all, if the nails are really bendy and thin, like my nails are really kind of nice and strong, you can see they don't kind of, they might be still be a little bit of the product like on some places, but they're really nice and strong. If I would have a client which has really bendy nails, I wouldn't risk it pinching because the natural nail is so bendy that once we put the pinching clamp, the natural nail might bend too much and then the product wouldn't bend as much, so it will cause the lifting on the sides. Also, in a really extreme cases, when you would try to pinch the product which is too hard, you could cause the breakage to go all the way through from the middle right down to the matrix. So it is pretty dangerous, and I wouldn't suggest like you do pinch. I wouldn't suggest you pinching if you don't know what you're doing really. So that's 35 seconds cure. What else you can do it like to check? I'm just tapping to check like how the product is doing. And as he says, my nails are really nice and strong, so I can feel safe to pinch it a little bit, and it doesn't cause me any pain. Like pinching never should be painful, but I can see it does put some strain into the nail. Okay, so that would be a very gentle form of the pinching, where you would just squish it and then relace and then cure it. So this way you don't over pinch, and you could just cure it like this. This way the nails have a really nice shape. And the place where I'm mainly pinching is not too high on the nail, so it's more kind of through to the end of the nail rather than like on the entire nail. But then my nails are good for pinching, so I'm just going to cook it for the next 30 seconds. So a full cure, and then I can move on into the next step. So we want to have some sparkly background, and I'm going to use some foil. I think it looks so nice. It is not a transfer foil. It's like an iridescent foil, you know, like, and I'm going to cut small pieces of that because I think it will look so nice encapsulated in there. Okay, so I've got my scissors here, and I'm just going to take the scissors and cut a couple small pieces. Try to make them like all different sizes so you could squeeze them in different places, but this foil do not transfer, so I'm only using to encapsulate it. And I think like it is quite a lot of nice ideas with these foils which you could use, like, or even use only this foil for the encapsulation. I think that will look really fantastic as well, because it has all those nice colors through it, like those blue and orangey. It's really nice. Okay, so I've got my clear gel and a brush again, so let me clean that. And I'm going to pick up another scoop. I'm just picking up another scoop of the product, covering the entire nail. So nice and thin. And then pick up a very small amount, because I'm going to build up the apex in a kind of two goes. So I'm picking up a small amount for my apex just in the middle. You don't want to build too big apex at this stage, just because you have to place the foil, and that might be too long time for you to be able to do it. And now I'm picking up the pieces of those beautiful foil and place them in. It's so nice. Okay, so I've got different kind of sizes, and then just dip in my brush and a little bit of glitter, and I'm just going to kind of touch it up with some sparkles. Okay, so we have created those kind of nice effect. I'm going to pop it inside the lamp, and then we have to encapsulate everything, and basically that's our design finish. I think they look so nice even on their own, without of any crystals, but I really wanted to put some bling up. I really missed my bling, so I'm just cleaning my brush from any glitter. Like ideally I usually keep two pots, like, so one is for a glittery kind of stuff, and then the other one is for no glitter things. And then that's my nail cure. I'm just going to double check the length, and I think I need to go a millimeter longer. So I'm just taking a small scoop of the product again. Doing a nails with not dominant hand is a really big challenge, guys, I'm telling you. So much quicker. But I've got some good news for you. I'm going to do some acrylics as well on my left hand with my right hand. So yeah, you will be able to see it me doing some acrylics as well. Okay, nice and thin layer. Now I want to, because I want this bling to be the most blingy, I'm just going to do a kind of like a quickest marble ever before I start filing. So I'm taking a tiniest amount of the white on the piece of foil and tiniest amount of the blue on the piece of foil. Dip in my brush and clear. Do two touches, like so. I've got some colors, and I'm just going to quickly kind of do some marble. And then build up my apex. And then this nail is going to be finished. Cool. So I'm just checking if I've got enough product everywhere. And then we can put it inside the lamp. This is just a tiny Swiss string to make my apex a little bit higher. I'm not the fan of overly too large apex. I like it when it's kind of nice and natural looking, but enough to give a strength. So yeah, I'm just going to cure this nail, and then I show you how to shape it, and then we can bling them up. So I started putting only couple crystals, but then after putting one, I wanted another one and another one, and I couldn't stop. And once I finished the one nail, I was like, oh my goodness, I miss so much my nails to be so bling up. That's why I thought, like, okay, it's a time for a really bling, bling, bling set. But yeah, on this hand, I will show you how to do kind of similar glitter encapsulations, but with the acrylics. So yeah, I've got some liquid with me, and then I've got, I'm not sure which one I'm going to use it yet, but I'm actually quite excited because I don't do acrylics much, just because of the smell, mainly on the smell, and you can kind of achieve the same results with the gel or the acrylics, but I will show you on this hands in the next tutorial, so I hope you will be liking this too. Now this nail is cured, so I can just put the form out, take UV cleanser to remove the inhibition layer, So UV cleanser to remove the inhibition layer. And you can see the nail is really misshapen. We've got lots of filing to do. Not an easy task with my left hand, but I'm just going to file it the sides first into a nice coffin shape. So I'm kind of filing like a V shape, really. Same. So nice V shape. And you can see how I have like already changed the shape of the nail by doing just the sides. Okay, my next step is to shorten the free edge. But I will do only a little bit because I don't know where I am yet. And then this side is lower. So this movement is going to sort out my side. Okay, I can check the length. We are just about. But I want my nail to be much nicer at the end. Like I don't want it to be as bulky. Like as wide, I would say. So more of those V-shaping. And for a coffin shape, like those V-shaping is the most important one. And then once I have done this line, I can see it, I've got too much at my free edge. So I'm just filing the free edge. Blend everything around the cuticle area. It's starting looking better. Okay, I'm going to check the length again. Straighten it up. And now I need to just touch up this side a little bit and then basically buff it, and that's my nail finished. You can also check it like how it looks from underneath as well. It's easier to, I actually like this glitter so much. I'm very careful when filing the free edge. I don't want to kind of make it too rounded. With the coffin shape, I really like my kind of sharpness. Yeah, I'm going just to take a buffer, give it a quick bath, and then we can move on into the crystals application. Yeah, so that's this nail finished. I'm just going to show you when I put a tiny bit of the blue scrap over it, or even a top coat, how nice it is. And then we can start the crystals application. So you can see, there is actually, I put the top coat over it just to show you the effect. So it's a really, really nice background for a little crystals, and I love it so much. especially from underneath. I think it looks so pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just going to wipe it off with the blue scrub, and we can start with the clear crystals applications. So I've got some crystals in here, actually quite a lot of them, and I will be actually using most of them, so we can start placing them in. So on this one I've got a large square crystal, which is like this one, not square, yeah, but I've got the large one, and then I've got a wee triangle there, and then lots of clear ones around it, and the caviar beads. On this ones I've got two of them, and I'm actually going to show you how I have placed this one, and I will do similar design on this one, and then here I will do something different, and then here I've got some teardrops, so I will be using lots of different crystals. And I've got a small piece of the form and my base gel, and I find that the crystal stays really nice with the base gel, so I'm just putting a small drop of the base gel on the side. I'm going to clear my nails, and we are going to, on this nail, do exactly the same, just so you know how to recreate this look. And I will be using an old kind of nail art brush. Oh, this one is quite wrecked, so. And we need quite time-consuming process applying all those crystals, but I think they look so pretty cool. Nice and blending up set. And the tiniest ever ones. Okay, so I'm taking a small amount of the base gel and applying it right around the cuticle area. And then we're going to put the tiny wee crystal. So this one is really small, right in the middle. And then some larger ones on the side. 1, 2. See, when you're also applying so many crystals, you don't want to make the nails overly too thick, because that will make them look really, really bulky. Like the crystals itself gives quite a lot of structure too. And then some small ones and large ones. I actually need to spend some more money on the crystals, because this set is going to take lots of them. So I'm going to apply this large one here. Okay, give it a freeze cure. So that's just like a 2 seconds cure. Then pick up a really big amount of the base. So I'm picking up a decent amount of the base. And now we are going to put those large crystals. So as you can see, what else you could do, like to know which direction you want to place your crystals, you could place them on the side. So these crystals are not a nice straight triangle shape, but when we join them in together, they give a nice rhombus shape. And that's what I'm going to do it. So 1 crystal's there. And then the second one, just joining in. Okay. I want to cure them both at the same time, because I want them to be really kind of joined in. I'm checking if it's nice and straight. Get them joined in, flash cure. For larger crystals, you can kind of cure it a couple seconds longer, just because we have applied much thicker base. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up another scoop of the base gel. And just on the sides, I'm applying quite a decent amount as well. So first of all, this base is going to go kind of underneath of these crystals if there is any missing place. Plus, we are going to do a nice transition, so the crystals are not going to be catchy. Like obviously when you're washing your hair or when you're doing the things, you don't want them to catch. And I find it like building up the structure from the crystals this way gives me a really nice and long-lasting results, because the crystals are not catchy and they don't annoy me or the clients when they done this way. Okay, so I'm applying some crystals. Give it flash cure, and you kind of play with them like this. Very therapeutic, but to do it on the client, like, it would take ages and it would cost fortune as well. So normally I charge 25, like they are original Swarovski crystals. So you know, guys, they are really expensive, like, to buy. So I'm charging like about £1 per large crystal, and then 25 pence per small crystal. So that would be quite expensive set. But I miss it, my nails this way. Like, I miss them so much, like being all blink up. I wouldn't do it on the set which is kind of due to be removed, because it would be a shame. Like, normally I can get much longer with the fresh set, so I will be probably sporting those nails for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Oh gosh, because it will be a very big shame to clip off all those crystals. And normally, like when I was running more trainings, obviously now due to the pandemic, like quite a few trainings have been cancelled, especially the ones which have been planned for abroad. What I would do is I would normally, before I was starting recording the tutorials for you guys, I would do my nails in a house or in a salon, and then I would take my crystals, and when Patrick was driving, I would keep applying those crystals on, because it can take, honestly, it takes ages to apply all the crystals. So now this, because those triangle shapes are uneven on the sides, I need to kind of find a happy medium for placing the crystals around it, so it looks kind of decent. Give it a flash cure. So nothing overly too complicated, as long as you've got your kind of idea how you want to place the crystals. And I never know how I want to place them until I start placing. So the biggest tip I can give you really is just place those large crystals first. And once you place those large crystals first, you really want to go around it with the smaller ones, and you're starting building up your construction from this point. Gosh, it feels so weird to have one hand really short. So you can see I need to move those crystals so they join in at the same level on the bottom. And another very important tip as well when doing those kind of crystals is sometimes the large crystals might stick out a little bit more. So you need to kind of be careful when you... There we are. I have moved this one out a little bit because it went too much inside the large crystals, and now everything line up nice and straight. Pick up another scope, and now we are going to place some small crystals. So I've got one, another one, and the last one I want to place the smaller one at the end. Give it a flash cure, and then the caviar beads. So the caviar beads I'm using, that's a silver ones. They're so tiny, but they look super cool. I feel like they kind of finish off the design. So what I need to do is put a small dot of the base gel on the sides, and then pick up those caviar beads and squeeze them in there. And the small brush like is the perfect tool actually to do it. I might actually show you guys maybe on the one nail only the caviar beads, because it's a really time consuming, even more time consuming than placing the crystals. And you have to freeze it each time, because otherwise the caviar beads might run and then they will go into the different place. I definitely need to show you those crystals beads like on this part, because I think they stand out more than they do on the side and here, and that's make them so pretty cool. And honestly, I have missed so much my bling sets. Okay. I quite like also sometimes if I've got too many of them, take them off on the tissue, because then I have them separated and it's easier for me to take just one caviar bead at the time. And the one on the end, that looks so pretty. Okay, so this side is finished with the caviar beads. I'm going to freeze it. Also, to finish the cuticle area, we're going to apply 2 small crystals and some caviar beads as well. So I've got one, then I've got second one, and the caviar beads again. Give it a freeze. Okay, 3 tiny ones and around the small crystals. Try to don't press too hard with your brush, because then there might be too much base going into your caviar beads and they will become pretty stuck together and messy. So the application is going to be much more difficult picking up those tiny wee balls. You don't have to necessarily do it with the caviar beads, but I find it like this is just really so finishing, like make it much more prettier. And the last 2, actually, yeah, last 2, 1, 2, 1, I think a stripe of the crystals, just like this one here, that's what looks so nice on its own as well. And I'm just going to cure it. Now I will show you, for those ones who feel a little bit bored now at this stage, I'm going to show you what is my next step. And then on the middle finger, I'm just going to do slightly different crystal placement. So I've got a tiny bit of the top coat, which I'm putting on the side. I'm taking this tiny bit of the top coat and I would apply it around the crystals. So I'm taking small brush and just going around the crystals. So that could be a place which is pretty difficult to reach with the big brush. What else you could do is take a top coat and just go in some of those places where you've got your large crystal. So you wouldn't apply on top of the crystals, but there are wee holes in there where you want to kind of drop a tiny bit of the top coat. Then take a big brush, and I'm using the High Shine No Wipe Top Gel. And just apply the top coat around the crystals. And when we apply the top coat, the background pops out as well. And the reason why I put those kind of milky-ish color as well, like those bluish and white, is I didn't want the glitter from underneath to distract too much of the crystals. Now you can see it, I've got really crystal just right at the edges. That's the crystal which is the most at risk of coming off. So that could be the crystals, the only crystals you could gently top coat it as well, because it wouldn't show too much of the difference, but it's going to seal the crystal which is just right on the edges, prevent coming off. Okay, so that's my nail top coated, and now I can put it inside the lamp. To save myself a time, I will start, so that's nails would be just completely finished. I'm just going to quickly place the crystals on those nails, and I'm just thinking I might actually do this construction on the middle one. Construction. So I'm taking a base gel again. But yeah, it is kind of like a weed construction, or maybe I should use something else. Oh gosh, I don't know what I've got. And no, I'm going to use a different one, maybe. I've got also those crystals, and I think they are pretty cool as well. No, I'm going to use this one, so just so you've got another idea how to place the crystals. I'm like a child in a sweet store with all the crystals. And I think you cannot go wrong with the Swarovski application. Like, I think it looks so super cool and pretty. So I'm just going to freeze this one. And I need to pick up a really large scoop of the base now for those large ones. So nice and decent amount. And I'm going to build up the construction from those crystals now. I'm not sure yet which way I want them. Actually, this is nice. Oh, wow, this is nice. This is very nice. Yeah, I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, check if it's nice and straight. And now maybe I will overdo it. No, I'm not going to overdo it. Oh my goodness. I'm actually excited about this one now. So freeze it. And then we're going to place another crystal on here. That is actually pretty cool. Because oh my goodness, that is so cute. You can see it, they kind of overlap. Maybe I will squeeze one more. Okay, now the only trouble is they go a little bit on the side, so I've got dilemma. No, I can't use that. Because they've got the curve, they will need to go on the side, and which is a shame, because if I would start it going from the side, but not for this design, so I cannot use it unless I will go just like this. No, I don't like it. Oh, what a shame. Okay, we need to build up a different type of the construction. So another thing which will go really well in this place is a teardrop shape. And that's what I'm going to do. So basically you would just, I don't know, see and look what is going in together and what looks nice. Slightly smaller one. But I think for some nail, I will really want to build up the construction, which I started doing, going on the side, because I think that will look so cool. Okay, I'm going to freeze it. And a couple more, and then that's us finished. So again, I'm just going to use exactly the same idea of having like an AB crystal in the middle and then some clear crystals around. Okay, I'm trying to see what kind of crystals fit in best. Because I'm not 100% happy with that. Definitely not something I'm going to do it. So yeah, you cannot really, you don't know really what you want until you start placing those crystals. So I'm just going to pull them off because I'm not happy with it. I think I'm just going to add a couple of the caviar beads, and that will be finished for this middle nail, because it's too curve shaped and it's not going to look nice if we go with the crystals around it. Absolutely not going to be nice. So 3 caviar beads. Yes, and I much prefer it. So I'm going to place another 2 caviar beads, and then that's it finished basically. 1, 2. That will look like an clasps which are holding the diamond in the ring. But I need to do this waved one like on some nail going on the side. Like I'm so desperate to try it on some nail. Take your time like putting all these crystals in, because if you don't place them kind of nice and even, they might actually look ugly rather than pretty. Freeze it. And the last. So 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of holding the breath as well. I don't want to take too much time. Yeah, and I'm going to keep it the way it is, just because going with the white ones around it will make it too not straight. A drop of the top coat just to apply it around the crystals. Oh no, I'm going to place 1, 2 more. Cameraman is laughing now. He did hurt his back, guys, like really badly. So on Tuesday, basically, on Tuesday, he was in the gym, like heavy weightlifting, and something's happened. So he wasn't able to stand, he wasn't able to sit, walk, like nothing, obviously, like nothing. And today is a Monday. Yeah, so this is almost a week. And he's like, okay, well, we'll try to record something. So obviously he's on really like 4 different types of the strong painkillers just to let him move and sit and be able to kind of do basic things. So yeah, I think it's like, he thinks in his head like, oh, come on, stop doing any more crystals. He's laughing now. Yeah, we're going to have a tough day today. So basically, I'm just going to quickly finish the set and then run to the chemist to pick up some medication for him. And then on the evening time, we want to do one more recording, which is going to be those acrylic nails on my left hand. But yeah, okay, Patrick, I'm promising no more. This one goes to the lamp. Drop of top coat. Now I'm just applying the top coat around those crystals. Pick up my High Shine No Wipe Top Gel. And I love this set so much, like I love my bling so much. So when you're applying the top coat, I tend to kind of shake it with my brush just so it really goes kind of on almost underneath of the crystals, if there is any wee gaps, because that's the gaps which can make the crystal to catch on the hair or to catch on clothes or something. And that's why they might kind of come off. So kind of give it a wee shake and go really nicely around it. Cap the free edge. And a bigger drop on the end crystal, because that's the one which is at the most risk of coming off. Okay, so that's this. I love this set. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. It's so blingy. And I mean, the crystals are still dirty from the wax, so I need to kind of like clean my hands and make the crystals nice and shiny. But I hope, guys, you have really enjoyed watching this tutorial. And I'm definitely like on those crystals, oh my goodness, I'm definitely going to create this design because I love this idea so much. So when you've got some spare time and even you don't have a client, what you could do, you could just take a crystals and start kind of playing with them and seeing what will happen if maybe it's depending which angle I would put. So 3 could maybe still do, but that's mean I will have to have a bigger gap to get it nice and straight. Oh, I'm so gutted actually I have glued the first 2. Yeah, it is possible to get it in a straight line as well. It depends how we start the first crystal. Oh my goodness, look guys, like I want that on my nails now. It's such a beautiful design. Absolutely amazing. I give you the links to the crystals as well. Like, I mean, they are Swarovski crystals, but you can buy also cheaper alternative from the Born Pretty, and they have been pretty good. I might maybe show you the difference in between them. There we are. That's not the true Swarovski crystals. So this is a Swarovski crystal. This one like is a definitely Swarovski crystal, 100%. And then this one isn't Swarovski crystal. You can't really tell much of the difference. Sometimes the lasting time might be on. So that's the real one. And that's the fake one. I can't remember were they fake or real, but they're so pretty. Yeah, anyway, I'm sending you lots of glittery hacks, and I'm finishing this video so cameraman is happy and he can take some rest. And that's the set we have created. I love it so much. I really need to clean it, the crystals, clean my cuticles, wash my hands properly, and then take an amazing, this is a Swarovski crystals, both of them are Swarovski crystals as well, and take a nice thumbnail picture. Yeah, glittery hacks, and bye for now.